Ya Allah, si sepensaku ya Allah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, la ilaha illallah.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa la sharika lahu wa ashhadu Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. I don't like it if you get more attention than I do. Earlier, before I got here, I understand that we had our reciter of the Quran recite to you the last verses of Surah Al-Hashr. And I felt that it was compulsory for us to give the meaning of this, especially for those who don't have the Arabic language, to take some benefit from it. The Rasul said in many of the khutbahs what means, well in Arabic he said, فَإِنْ أَسْتَقُوا بِهِ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ. For sure, the best speech or words are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His book. So I think that's better than anything I have to say anyway. I know it is. So let me read this for you. This is more or less translation. I don't know whose translation it is. Everybody wants to put their own name on it. It starts out with, "Oh, you who believe." And the way they translate it, I'm positive that I should have brought my own with me, but anyway. When we use the word taqwa, it gets translated a lot of different ways, but you need to have taqwa for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which doesn't mean observe your duty. Actually, it means to put a partition between you and the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's taqwa. And let every soul look for what it sends forward for the tomorrow, it means the future. And observe your duty to Allah, for He is cognizant of your actions. That means, in plain English, He's aware of what you're doing. And don't be of the people who forget Allah, so that He'll cause them to forget themselves. These are the evildoers. The people of the fire and the dwellers of paradise are not the same. The dwellers of the paradise are victorious. And if Allah had caused the Quran to come down upon a mountain, you would have seen the mountain humbled, rent asunder out of fear of Allah, and such are the parables that Allah sets forth for mankind so that they can remember. Who Allah, He is Allah, beside whom there is none other worthy of any worship, nor of what is seen and what is unseen. And He is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the compassionate and the merciful. He is Allah, beside whom there is none other worthy of worship. He is the sovereign Lord, the Holy One, the source of security, the keeper of faith, the guardian, the mighty one, the all-powerful, the proud. Exalted be Allah above the partners they ascribe to Him. He is the law creator, the originator, and the one who shapes, the modeler, they said. His are the most beautiful names, and all that is in the heavens and earth glorifies Him. He is Almighty, all-wise. How many of you have heard this recited in Arabic before? You know it? Anybody here from Turkey? Anybody from Turkey? Huh? Put your hand up if you're from Turkey. No? Because in Turkey, they read this in almost every salah. The Imam is reading this in all the salah, all the time. They're reading the same over and over and over. By the way, guys, I'm not fasting. So if you want to send some water up here, I don't mind if I drink it. The subject we had for tonight is
You can make an announcement.
I don't do announcements.
Okay, I'll do it.
It says move forward to make room for people that want to sit down.
There's only 3 chairs up.
They want me to make an announcement. But I told them I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to announce that they want you to move forward to make room for any people that are waiting for seats. I refuse to do that. I know my rights. The subject we have for tonight is going to be preempted by another subject. And if you want your money back, you can have it, okay? It was free, right? Okay, we'll give you double your money back. How about this? If you say we'll give you triple your money back. Sure, it was free, right? I remember what happened to me one time in Mississippi. I have this thing I like to play games with people's minds that kind of not trick them, but make them get in a position where they have to think and they have to act. So I had 14 doctors, medical doctors, in a little small masjid, and I was telling them about meeting them there tomorrow morning for Fajr. On Saturday morning, we'll meet for Fajr. And they're like, "You're going to come here for Fajr? Yeah, how are you going to get in?" I said, "Why?" I said, "It's locked at Fajr." I said, "Well, who has the key?" "All of us." So I started thinking, and I have this little, not trick, but some little thing that I do, or used to do until then. And that was, I told them, "Okay, guys, if somebody told you, you're doctors, you guys make lots of money, not like some of us. But if somebody told you you could have a $100 bill, crisp, brand new $100 bill, just show up here for Fajr in the morning, would you take it?" I said, "Sure." Look at this. Doctors, surgeons, right? But still, $100? Yeah, I'll come. They just got through saying they never come. They just told me. Now they're going to come for $100. I said, $100. They said, "Each?" I said, "Yes. $100 or more." I said, "Or more?" I said, $100 minimum or more. I said, "Oh?" I said, "Yeah." "Would you do it?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What if somebody offered you a Hajj package tomorrow morning? If you just show up." I said, "Whoa, would that be better than the $100? I said, "Yeah." And I said, "And what if, and I give them a long list of this and this and that. I don't bother you with it, but anyhow." They said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, I see you guys at Fajr." They said, "Who's going to give us?" "This guy. You can have $100 or something better." I said, "Okay." I stayed at one of the doctor's houses, right? And he overslept. Okay? We're ready to go. My buddy was traveling with me, both of us. We're ready to go, but we got no driver and we're out in the country. So sun came up. We're standing outside in the driveway, and he finally came out, and we're like, We prayed in his driveway in front of his Mercedes. So now he said, "Well, I guess we won't go." I said, No, we got to go. We went. He said, "Nobody's going to be here." I said, "Just go." We got there were 14 cars parked right there. When I walked in the door, they were like this, "Pay." I said, "Don't you want to hear the story?" They said, "Pay." We're here. They were joking, and then I explained to them, if you come for Fajr in the morning and you stay in your place till the sun rises and you pray 2 rak'ah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives you the reward as if you made Umrah. And then in Ibn Majah and Tirmidhi, it has a hadith that says Umrah and Hajj. Umrah and Hajj. Hajj and Umrah, Mabrur, accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I call it Hajj without visa. You don't need a visa. And you don't need the hadiyah. You don't need the slaughtering animal. You don't need the 2 towels for ihram. Huh? You don't need to make a big vacation arrangement. You don't need it. Just come and do that. That's a good deal. And they're going, oh, okay. I said, don't you want to pray the 2 rak'ah and take that? I said, well, what about the $100? I said, well, if you take the $100, this is the deal. You have to go ahead and pray your Fajr over again, because I get the reward for the Fajr, for the Sunnah, and for this, the Dua as well. And I said, I'm going to, wait a minute, come on. So alhamdulillah, they accepted it. What Allah gives them. But I didn't offer that anymore. That broke me of the bad habit. I'm making up something like that. I wanted to talk about the translation of the Quran tonight. I think it's really, really important. I recall that some time back, a couple of years back, I was up in New York, and there was a program. They had some speakers who came, and I was really disappointed at what one of the speakers said. He was an American, like myself, a convert to Islam, and he works a lot in schools and helps children to learn the deen, and he's really good at what he does. But one of the things he said, it puzzled me and it upset the audience very bad. And his statement more or less was that all of the English speakers in the world should have only one translation of the Quran in English, and that's it. And that'll be the representation of Quran in English language. And when he sat down, I said, are you joking? And he said, no, that's what it should be. Well, how many of you already know automatically what's wrong with that idea? Huh? Yeah, right. Don't even go there. As soon as you talk like that, what's going to happen? Immediately, everybody's going to say, which translation? And they're going to start a huge fight over something that's totally ridiculous, because Quran is not Quran except in which language? Chinese. No. What? Arabic. Yeah. It's only in Arabic. Even the idea of translating Quran is something rather new. This is only the last few hundred years, this idea of making translation of Quran. Anybody want to learn Quran, they learn the Arabic language. Today they look at you like you're crazy. You say, well, would you like to know the Quran? You'll say, okay, yeah. Well, you need to learn Arabic. What? Learn Arabic? Are you crazy? I want to know what your book says. Why do I have to learn Arabic? That doesn't make any sense. Or does it? Now, if I say something, I should bring you some proof, right? Or can I just talk and say anything I want to say? Or do you like to have proof for what I said? I'm saying that for the first 1,200 years after the Quran is revealed, nobody's worried about translations. You want to know what it says? Learn Arabic. You want to know what it says? Learn Arabic. And don't give me this, what does this word mean in my language? What is that word? What is this word? What is that? How do I understand? No, no, no. Just learn Arabic. Today is so... All right. Let's change subject a little bit. You want a job, right? How many of you like working with a computer? Anybody? Only 5 people in the whole place like to work with a computer? What if I make dua right now, the rest of you, your computer will shut down and never open up? You got to play the game here, okay? This is how it works. You don't have to do much, but you got to raise your arms up and down. Hey, you want to know why I do that? I want to make sure you're still awake. I'm going to ask you again. How many of you like messing around with your computers? Now get up. See, look at that. They really thought I was going to make dua yesterday. But if, and how many of you like that make more money than you're making right now? Just in case I was going to make dua for that. Yeah. So if somebody offered you a job right now, making more money than you make, and giving you the latest technology in computers, you'd say yes. Huh? Especially if it didn't interfere with what you're already doing, right? The only thing is, you're going to have to read a manual that has a lot of technical jargon in it, and you have to learn how to operate that new piece of free machinery they're going to give you. That's the only catch. Are you going to do it? You bet you are. I'm serious. I want you to just go back. Go back. Go back with me 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Okay, 20 years ago, if anybody come up to you and talked about a bite, talking about bites, you'd be like, what are you talking about, mosquito bites? Right? Huh? Now all of a sudden you'll know all about megabytes, terabytes, right? And somebody's telling you about gigs. Now, 50 years ago, you told somebody about a gig. Hey, I got a good gig, man. I work over here at the... Still that's your job. Now today, gigs are what? How is it you understand this language? Because you want to. And I'm sorry, but anybody here ever been in a chat room? You ever use a chat room? You know what I'm saying? You know? Chat rooms? Yeah? Can you read that stuff they type? Where did you learn that language? Huh? BTW. I said, what's a BTW? I said, I know a BMW. What's this? It means by the way. And Lowell. First time I saw that Lowell, I said, who's Lowell? I said, that's laughing out loud. And I said, who's Roll? R-O-L. I said, that's... rolling on the land. What's that? And Lowell Road. What's Lowell Road? That's laughing out loud and rolling on the ground. Is it true or false? They have this crazy stuff in that little I, when they're talking about little I. It's irritating to somebody that's English major. And funny, I used to complain about it in the chat rooms. We own a series of websites, as maybe you heard, but one of the parts of our operation is a series of chat rooms. We own Chat Islam, Islam Chat, and some class, Islam class, things like that, and we did that. So in the beginning I was trying to get everybody to use real English, and they're like, what's that? The important thing that I'm trying to get across is the message that if you want to do something, you do it. If you want to bad enough, you'll learn a new language. People are doing it all the time. Is anybody here from India? Or your relatives from India? Okay. Is English the #1 language in India today? Or they still have Hindi as the #1 language? What's the official language?
English.
Hindi?
No, English.
Official language?
No,
Hindi. Oh, I just left there last week and that's what they told me, okay? Anybody from Kerala? Kerala? Not Kerala. Yeah, some Muslims told me Kerala. They said it used to be Arabic, it was Kerala. I said, really? I believe it. I get down there, it means coconut. The subject that I'm telling you about is that when you start talking about translating the Quran to another language and then making it an official book that everybody has to use a certain one, this is ridiculous, it's ludicrous, and it's not in Islam. The Quran is in Arabic. If you want to know the Quran, you need to know the Arabic. And the evidence is in the Quran itself. In the Quran itself, if